are here in Davos, Switzerland, and discussing the global banking industry and the economy as well. Sergio Ermotti is the UBS. I got a USB stick right here, but the UBS CEO. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We got so much to talk about. I wanted to start with this just because we're talking to Brian Armstrong about it, and everybody's obviously talking about the inauguration in the United States. What is your perspective from outside the U.S., given that you also have huge business in the U.S., about the next 4 years in terms of the role of the United States and how it all plays out?
Well, I do hope and believe that this new administration can help address some geopolitical issues that we have out there. That's the promise that we have been hearing. So I have to say that would be a welcome movement, because being in Ukraine or Middle East, it's way too many tensions. Also with China, hopefully we can see a solution. On the other hand, the prospect of tariffs that may create macroeconomic consequences are also something that may create geopolitical tensions.
Right. Does this feel like a different Davos to you? And the reason I mentioned that, and I was talking to Becky about it earlier, is, you know, for so many years you'd come here and we would talk about things like ESG and climate change and all of these other kinds of issues. We weren't talking about tariffs. We talked about competition to some degree, but it seems like the Trump win and even just the shift politically around the globe has pushed out a lot of the issues that used to be represented here.
Well, I would say that probably the election of President Trump has accelerated an ongoing trend of trying to rebalance the debate around some of those topics. You look at climate, you look at other topics where eventually there was an ongoing debate. So, in my point of view, it feels different, but we all know that whatever is the consensus of Davos won't play out to be the reality. So once again,
it's always the opposite. It's the opposite day. What is your sense of regulation in the U.S. as it relates to banks? Because one of the things that I know a lot of folks in the United States are looking at, I wonder whether you'll ultimately look as well, is the possibility of finally being able to make acquisitions in the financial space. And that's a space that has not had a lot of deals. You obviously just had the major one in Switzerland with Credit Suisse. But when you start to think farther out.
Now, first of all, I don't believe that we're going to see a lot of deregulation. What we will see is probably...
You don't think we're going to see a lot of deregulation?
Not deregulation. Probably we won't see more regulation. We won't see probably overlapping new regulation that is in conflict with existing regulation. We will probably see a more rationalization of existing regulation. So at least for the big banks, I think it's appropriate. I don't believe that banks should be massively deregulated. But what it will be allowed probably is consolidation in the U.S., first of all, among second-tier banks, rationalizing a little bit that aspect, and that in turn will create opportunities. So, I don't think that for us it's very important that we don't get new unnecessary regulation rather than...
What is the next step for you, though? And the reason I ask is obviously you've been working on this massive integration project between UBS and Credit Suisse. Is there another deal to be done next?
First of all, we have to digest and execute on the current one. We are very focused on serving clients. We need to now go through the second phase of the integration. We are migrating 110 petabytes of data. 1 petabyte is 500 billion pages, written pages. So it's a huge exercise we are going through. So we have to, first of all, do that. We are also preparing for the future in terms of what it means, artificial intelligence, digital capabilities. And eventually, we will need to assess what else we need to do. But it's premature to talk about acquisition.
When you sit with your team and talk about inflation, both in Europe and the United States, and you talk about what the Federal Reserve should be doing or what the ECB should be doing, what do you say right now?
Something that I've been saying for a while. Inflation is much more sticky than we have been saying. So I think that fortunately or unfortunately, on that point, we have been somehow right. But the truth of the matter is that we need to see also how tariff will play a role in inflation. And that...
What's the betting line on what you think the tariffs ultimately look like? When your clients call you and say, Sergio, give me some advice here. Something's happening here. What do you say to them?
I think that tariff, any kind of tariff, I mean, there is a bid and offer spread on tariff, but tariff will probably not really help inflation to come down. And therefore, I don't see rates coming down as fast as people believe. So, and when you look at the current environment, the market seems to believe that way.
I got a final one for you, because you deal with so many wealthy clients in the United States and frankly around the world. What do you think about taxes? So there's a big question about what taxes are going to look like in the United States this year.
Well, the wealthy clients don't mind to pay taxes if they are proportionate and fair. So I think that, of course, I think that we have to do things in a balanced way. But, honestly, I see more and more clients being willing to do the right thing if they see the money is well spent. So the real question that people really raises is not the fact that they pay taxes, but how the taxes are utilized.